Well, hello and welcome back to day 4 of 25 Days of Holiday Nails, Advent Calendar Edition from Madam Glam 2023. Let's move on to day 4, which I will honestly say I'm a little bit disappointed about. Because when I ordered the Advent Calendar, it included one of these mini UV LED lamps. When you spend a certain amount, you get one of these free. It was one of their promotions, one of their gifts. So I'm a little disappointed that the free item that they included when purchasing specifically the Advent Calendar was one of the items that was already in the box. I don't need 2 of them. And at this point, I've got so many of them that having it in the Advent Calendar at all was a bit of a disappointment. But I do like the fact that this one is different from prior versions. If you've watched my channel before or you've seen other Madam Glam mini UV LED lamps, they were quite difficult to open. The legs were embedded in the base and you had to really pry them out or use an implement to get them to come out. But this is quite a bit better. You do have to remove the blue. Well, you don't have to. It's not going to inhibit the use of the lamp itself. But it's got this blue protective film on it that you can remove. I'm just using the pointed end of my water marbling tool. So you pull it off like so if you want to. Like I said, you don't have to. I would assume though that the silver part reflects the light better than the blue, so you'll get a better cure if you remove it. All right. So since this is day 4 and we are doing products that have to do with or doing manicures or nail designs that have to do with the products that are in the box, I am going to cure the nail with this mini UV LED light. So I'm going to put it off to the side, right off camera. And the manicure that the design that I'm going to do today is a sweater nail. So I'm going to use these 2 colors from the nail. One is a light green, one is a darker green. They're both in the sage family and they're my favorite colors. I think I want to do the whole nail in the darker sage, and then we'll do the pattern in the lighter sage. And then I'm going to use this Yang nail dust from Magpie Beauty to create the raised pattern of the nail. So it's going to be very straightforward, simple video. I'm going to do 2 coats of the darker sage green, and then we'll move on to doing the pattern. So in order to turn it, actually first it needs to be plugged in. That would help. Where is the cable? That also is a bit of a disappointment. I'm waiting for someone to create one of these mini UV lights that's cordless. Because honestly, where did the cable go? Oh, it's right here. And also, traditionally speaking, these cables tend to be quite short. So it plugs into the back. Maybe. Are you kidding me? It doesn't actually go in. This one is not made right. Okay, there it goes. All right, so that is plugged in. Finally, I'm going to hit that. and it'll go off when it's done. It is set to, I believe, 120 seconds, so that's a 2-minute cure. And because it is smaller, the wattage is only, actually, 1 second. It says on the back, 1 button setting, 60 seconds / 120 seconds. 60 seconds for UV, 120 seconds for LED. I'm not sure, it doesn't specify. It is 36 watts, which is higher than any other UV lamp mini that I've seen. Usually they're around 6. So this is going to really do a good full cure. So I thought that it had a timer on it that it would automatically go off at 120 seconds, but maybe, I don't know. What happens if I hit, no, it just goes off again. Where are the directions? Always helps to read the directions. So press on off button, 60 seconds, 120 seconds. It is set to 60 seconds by default. Hold the on off button for 2 to 3 seconds for a 120 second cure. Okay. All right, so that was about 90 seconds because I turned it off and turned it back on. I'm going to go and do a second coat, and then I'm going to do a 2-minute cure, just to make sure it's fully cured. All right, so now we've got our fully cured background color, and I did put a layer of velvet matte top coat, because when you're pouring over, the way you create sweater nails is you draw your pattern on top and then you coat it in clear acrylic powder in order to keep that raised appearance. And to create that kind of, the textured feeling that you get with sweaters. So because I'm doing an actual color and I want to use this white powder, I don't want to lose the color when I put the white on top of it, which likely I will. So I'm going to alternate rows between the Yang white powder and the clear acrylic powder. And you'll understand it better when I actually do it. So let's just get into it. So I'm going to create, this is a water marbling tool. This is not my brush. And actually I'm going to switch to a longer brush just to make things a little bit easier for the vertical stripes, if I can find one. Too long, way too long. I wish these said on the outside what length they were, and that's too short. Where is my medium-sized one? I think that's it. Okay, why do I have an extra brush cap in here? I don't know. Do you know? Okay. Continuing on, I'm just going to loosen up the bristles with a little bit of alcohol, which technically you're not supposed to do. Okay, and then I'm going to roll it in the gel polish. So I'm going to create my vertical lines. And I want it to be somewhat thick, but not so thick that it won't cure. I just want it to be raised so that we create texture. check your lines, make sure they're going straight. Now before you cure it, oh dear, they do go in a little bit, don't they? It's okay. Before you cure it, you want to have a cupcake liner, and you want to have your clear acrylic powder. You can use clear dip powder, it's the same thing. And you want to get that hair out of there. All right, so you've got your acrylic powder, you've got a clean cupcake liner, and you're just going to pour it over top. And this is why you need a matte background, because if you have a shiny background with that inhibition layer still on it, it's going to stick and you won't get it off. So you want to give it some time to soak up that clear acrylic. And if it starts to go shiny again, which it doesn't look like this will, oh, down at the bottom, you can pour some more on. And then once it's soaked up as much acrylic as it seems it's going to, you go and give that a full cure. All right, so now that we've got our nail cured, I'm going to grab somewhere a fluffy brush and brush off the excess powder. Okay, this is a little bit too fluffy. You can take a stiffer bristled brush, just don't brush too hard. Okay. Could also give it a little wipe with alcohol. And now we're going to go into some other line work. Now, I think I'm going to switch to my smaller brush because we're going to do, as I said, some finer line work. I'm going to move that out of the way. Go and give that another generous coating. And what you want to do is create hash marks. And I'm going to attempt to go every other because I want to alternate with how they're coated. This may or may not work. Okay, so we're going to have to connect them to the other ones. So for this one, I'm going to pull down, trying to see if I left enough room. I don't think I did. Okay, round 2. Starting from the top. Okay, so going from the top, we're going to curve it over as if we're going to meet the one below it. I'm going to do the same thing for each one. Now we're going to stop because we're going to coat it with the white powder. I'm using a different cupcake liner because I don't want to contaminate my white. Trying to see if any shine comes through. You could also dispense some into the cup once you've got some powder on the surface and lightly press it into it. Now I'm going to fully cure this once again, and we'll brush off the excess and see what we have. All right, so I've gone and brushed off the excess powder, and it actually looks pretty good. I'm getting a slight sparkle, if you can see, and it's not hiding the green behind it. So I'm actually going to continue with that. So I'm going to grab my small liner again, and I'm going to go in and finish the other lines. So we're just going to mirror what we did before. Well, that one didn't turn out right. I always find it's easier to draw horizontal lines versus vertical lines. So I'm turning the nail, and that's what I'm going to do. And now we just need to connect them like we did before. Just going to slightly go over this one to extend it because it's not connecting. And it'll all look fine once we dust it again. All right, so grabbing my cupcake liner, grabbing my dust, and repeating the same as before. So now that we've got the main design focus of the nail, we can go up and add some embellishments. So what I'm going to do is just create some hash marks. So I want to keep it pretty simple. I think it looks beautiful just with the main cable knit design. I don't want to confuse it and make it look too busy. So I'm just focused on making them the same width and the same length with the same space, amount of space in between. At this point, I'm going to do both the right side and the left side at the same time because that's going to complete the nail. We're not going to top coat. Sweater nails are traditionally left matte and embossed. Now, the only thing you need to pay attention to is the fact that you're going in the same direction and at the same angle on the other side so that it matches up. All right, so that's going to finish off this nail for day 4 of our 25 days of Christmas nails, part of the Advent Calendar edition of Madam Glam's 2023 Advent Calendar. Really hope you enjoyed it and that you learned something. If you've been nervous to try sweater nails before, this is your chance. I really do think they're beautiful. I love this color, and I love that it has this light sparkle from the Yang glitter from Magpie Beauty. Once again, all the products that I used will be in the description box below. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I would love it if I could get a like and a subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you always know when new videos are available. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, so I should say that the mini lamp worked beautifully. Have no complaints aside from the fact that I now have 2 of them unnecessarily, and I may consider doing a giveaway. Stay tuned. And of course the fact that you have to plug it in. I would love one that is chargeable, but as I said, it worked beautifully. It compacts very well, and it did a beautiful job. So thank you once again, and I will see you in the next video.